Mike here again. Wow, electricity, fun, not. I'm going to show you how to test the starting system and troubleshoot a no crank situation on a 2006 Yamaha R6S. For video purposes, I have removed the fuel tank, the seat, and the cowling. You will need to do this to complete the following test. When finished prepping the bike, you will need to have a multimeter, jumper wires, and it helps to have a couple of paper clips to aid you in testing certain connectors. You should consult the wiring diagram found in the machine service manual. Drawing a block diagram from the service manual will help you locate the different components, wires, and wire connectors needed to perform the following test. I have enlarged the starting system wiring diagram for video purposes. As you can see, I have located and identified the different colors of wires to be tested and the components on the bike to be tested. First, I need to locate and test the main fuse and the ignition fuse. First, the ignition fuse is a 15 amp fuse located near the front of the bike at radiator area. Now the main fuse is located up by the battery by the starter relay. Okay. Once we've located the ignition fuse here, here's the 15 amp fuse. Now I'm going to remove the fuse and look for obvious corrosion on the plug and on the fuse. If there is no evidence, we're good. If there is any evidence, it may be a blown fuse. Now we will test the resistance of the fuse by setting our meter to ohms and touch one lead to each side of the fuse. We should get a reading of about 0.5, 0.6. Test the main fuse, which is that 40 amp fuse. Look at it, make sure it's not blown, make sure there's no corrosion. Also look at the plug, make sure there's no corrosion there too. I'm going to take and do the same test we did on the little 15 amp. Make sure your meter's set on ohms, take one probe, touch one side to the other. And then we should get a 0.5, 0.6, we're good. Now that I have determined the fuses are in good working order, I want to check the voltage at the battery. Set the meter to volts DC, which I've already done. Now take and place your red lead on your positive terminal and your black on your negative. And you should get a reading 12.6, you're in good shape. That is in an unloaded state. Now, need to put the bike in a loaded state. Take and check the battery voltage again. You should have a little bit of a droppage. I did 12.5. We've got a little bit of voltage drop. If your battery's not good, please change it. You need a good battery for this test. Next, I'm going to test our starter motor. To do this, you need to use a jumper wire, which I have here in my hand, and also make sure the bike is in neutral and the key is off. The wire needs to be at least the same capacity or better on the battery. Otherwise, the lead may burn or melt. This test will likely produce sparks, so keep it away from anything flammable. To test the starter motor, I'm going to jump the two cables here, the positive and the negative. Doing so, the bike will turn over. If the bike turns over, the starter motor is good. If not, the bike will not turn over. Now I will test the starting circuit cutoff relay. The cutoff relay is located up underneath the rear fender on the left side. Now that you have it unplugged, take and turn the plug to where you have the 3 pins on each side to you. On the right side, you will have your red-black wire. Connect your red lead to it. Make sure it stays good. Then you'll take your other wire and find the black-yellow, terminal, which will be the second plug terminal on the front to your right. Make good contact there. Now take and contact your positive lead to your positive and your negative lead to your negative. The battery or the starter should be energizing, which you'll be clicking. If it's clicking, you're good. Now I'm going to move on to testing continuity. Take your red to it, and you will need to find your red yellow, which is right next to your other one. that you've already got plugged in. Test your reading. Reading should be about 0.5 ohms. If not, the starting circuit is bad. Moving on, I will test the starter relay. A starter relay is simply an electric switch. 2 circuits are necessary for the relay to operate: an energized or a control circuit. Applies a small amount of current to electromagnet, closing the main contacts to contact the circuit that carries a high current to the starter motor. So for this test, again, we want to energize the relay by jumping from red-white wire to the positive battery terminal and the blue-white terminal to the negative battery terminal. We've located it. I've disconnected the battery terminals, as you can see, and disconnected the plug. You need to locate the red-white wire and the blue-white wire on the plug, and then locate them here, which one's here, one's here. Now you take 2 leads and connect the leads to the terminals. Take the blue-white wire here and connect the red to the red here. Connect your red battery and your other one to your negative. And you can hear it popping. That means it's good. Now we're going to check the continuity. You'll go pole to pole here. You should get a reading. 1.2, 1.0, you're good to go. Now we will test the main switch. Locate the main switch terminal plug, pushes up underneath the gas tank here. It'll be a white plug with a red and brown wire. Disconnect it. Now you'll take your voltmeter, make sure it's set in ohms, and we're going to test the resistance here. You will take your black wire, go to your to the brown wire, take your red lead and go to the red, and in the off position should have 0 reading. Now we'll switch it to the on and test it again, and you should get a reading. Yeah, that's pretty good. You got a reading, you got resistance. Next I will test the engine stop switch. I will test the resistance across the red white and the red black wire terminals in both on and off position. First we'll have to locate the plug. The plug is here on the right hand side of the bike. It's a blue plug. Disconnect it. Alright, locate the red and white right here. Bring out the old good trusty paper clip. Now find the red black, which is right here on the other corner. Get the old trusty paper clip back out again on that one. Make sure your meter's set in ohm position, and we will now take and do the readings. In the off position, make contact with either one, and you should have an open lead. Now I'm going to put it in start position, or on position, and now we should have a reading of about 1.5 to 2. And we're in good shape. Now I will test the neutral switch, located on the left side of the bike, underneath the gas tank. It'll be a black plug with a light blue wire. All right, I've already disconnected it. So now I'm going to take and use the trusty old paper clip. Make sure the bike was already in neutral before you do this. It's easier to start neutral than go to gear. Now take your red lead, go to your paper clip, and go to your black to ground. You should get a reading. We've got a reading, so that means it's working. Now, reach down, put the bike in gear, and you should have an open lead. And we do. If the switch is bad, you'll need to replace it. You'll know that by the reading. Now I will test the side stand switch. It's located on the left-hand side of the bike. Locate the blue wire plug with the 2 black wires, and it'll be underneath the gas tank on the left side of the bike. I will test the continuity between the two black wires. So make sure the meter's set in ohms. Place one black probe, which I'm going to use the paper clips real quick to help make contact here. So give me just a sec. And now take one probe, test one terminal. Side stand is down, so we're going to do the side stand down first. With the side stand down, you should get an OL, or open lead, or a 1, which is open. Now I'm going to check the bike in the up position on the side stand. You'll need some help with this if you do not have a lift or a jack. So I'm going to put the bike up now, and I'm going to test it in the up position. In the up position, you should get 0.5 up to 1.0 approximately. If so, that means it stands good. Always make sure you put the stand back down and place the bike back down on its stand. That concludes that. Now I will test the clutch switch. Unplug the two wires located on the back side of the clutch right here. Now I'm going to test the resistance across the two terminals, which are right here, located at the bottom of the clutch pedal or handle. I'm so used to a car. Now take your probes, go across the two terms, and you should get an OL reading, and I do. Now pull the clutch in, and you should get a reading of 0.5 to 1.0, and we're good. If you have a problem with it, you will know, replace the switch, and you should be back on the bike pretty quick. For the final test, I will test the starter switch. Locate the blue plug on the right side of the bike, right here. Now, it's got 6 wires on it. Locate the blue and white and the black wire. Right here's the blue wire, and here's the black. I'm going to bring out the old trusty paper clips. Place one in the blue and white, and the other in the black. Now, we're going to test resistance on the 2 wires. With the starter button not being pressed, you should get 0 ohms or open lead. With the button pressed, you should get 5 ohms to 1 ohm. If you do not get any reading on that, you may need to change or check corrosion or something of that nature on your starter switch. If all test results are satisfactory on these components that we tested today, and the bike still will not start or crank over, check for loose or damaged wires or even corrosion. This concludes the video presentation. I'm Mad Mike with the Motorcycle Technician Program at Tulsa Tech. Where attendance matters, you matter, be on time every day. I'd like to give a special shout out to Mr. Devin Anderson for being an awesome instructor.